Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Easy Does It, a podcast created specifically for the amazing members of the MJ team. Rob and I are excited to be back with you. We have a great episode for you today. It's another guest host episode, and we are pumped about having someone else here with us today that's going to bring us some good stuff. Rob, could you introduce our guest host before we get into the grab bag of questions?
Oh, you dang right I can. I am excited about today. If you didn't think that our podcast could get any better with our guest host and all the jazz, oh, it just got better today. We have the man in the house, works right down the hall from us, Mr. Brandon Belk. Mr. Brandon Green Ranger Belk is up in the house.
Thank y'all so much for the love, man. All that was a lie, by the way. Rob is he builds that up. I'm just a regular dude that's just trying to put a smile on somebody's face. That's all that is. That's all that is. But thank y'all so much for having me, man. I appreciate the love, and I hope that I make y'all proud.
You will.
Oh, you can't disappoint us, no?
Yeah, I can remember. So the first time that I met Brandon, he came to a class that I teach here, the Intro to the MJ Fundamentals, and we were down at the plumbing building. And I feel like I remember coming back and saying to Rob, do you know who I had in class that I just loved having in class? His name was Brandon. He's getting ready for this competition. And do you know who I'm talking about? He's like, of course I know who you're talking about. And I was like, I just really enjoyed his energy. I loved having him in class. And here we are again.
That's great. I definitely I don't know. I enjoy people. I enjoy just learning new things about people and learning in general. So anytime I'm in that type of situation, it's just good for me. But I'm just thankful. Like I said, y'all are building me up to be way bigger than I am. You know how short I am already.
Says the guy that could barely fit through the door sideways. He had to turn sideways walking through the door.
Just a little bit.
The competition that Mary's talking about is his bodybuilding competition. This fool went and dominated on. So my first interaction with Mr. Brandon, we were in the CSR meeting. I hadn't been in there in a while. I need to get back in there. But I come in, the new CSR class comes strolling in, and there's all these people sitting there. And they had to introduce themselves, and I think they had to say something about themselves. And then this fool stands up. He's like, my name's Chauncey. And then he starts talking. I was like, okay, I guess that's his name. He's like, nah, that's not it. My name's Brandon. And the charisma this fool had in there, I said, I like this guy. So then I just started calling him that afterwards. But, I mean, the energy carried in the room, you could tell that. I mean, I didn't have the pleasure of being in that CSR class with them, but I know everybody in that class had a blast just because he was in there.
Y'all are great, man.
He's a little crazy.
Y'all are great. And again, it's just I feel if I had a symbolism for me, it's probably the lightest heart that you would know. I try to approach life in that way because, and we'll get into it later, but I think that we on a daily basis see things, hear things that could deter you from having hopeful feelings and lovable feelings and positive feelings. And it was just something that I was raised with my mother. And I was talking to her yesterday, and she was saying something about, you such a real man now. And I'm like, honestly, I just hope I'm making you proud. And she was like, I am. And honestly, for me, I'm set. Like, whatever comes in my life, knowing that woman is proud of me, I'm good. So I just hope I'm continuing to do that every day.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes a mama heart sing.
Yeah,
right. Get a few tears.
love it.
I'll get a few tears. Okay, so we're gonna go into our grab bag of questions.
Yes,
because lately this has really been leading to some interesting conversations, right? Xena, Thor.
Corey was just in here a minute ago.
You do the battle cry.
Yeah. Adrian sent me a picture of V on a
my girl.
She didn't say nothing, no context. She just sent it to me just before we started today, and I'm like, this fool. She's right. I'm about to beat on the wall.
That's
over
it.
So she knows. Okay, here's our question. If you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? Do you want me to go first?
Please.
Okay. I'll go first. So I don't think I would be super picky about it. I feel like right now I'm needing tropical, beach, sun, what's the chair? What's lounge chair, frozen drink of some sort.
Is it in the coconut?
Oh, I did not think of the coconut, but I think that would be the icing on the cake. I feel like maybe some music in the background, a book in my hand.
California love.
Absolutely.
So I don't think I'm really particular about where that's happening at this moment. I would like for the water to be pretty clear. I think that's speaking to. Do any of you feel like this is getting off on potentially a tangent? I heard somebody call Maycember the other day, like a cross between May and December. Maycember. And I think the reason why they said that is because December, of course, is super busy with the holidays and preparing and this and that and all the things.
True.
And I think they were making a correlation to May being similar in that way because you have Mother's Day, you have graduations, it's starting to get warm, there's more things outside, there's festivals and this and that and all the things. School's ending. Because right now I feel kind of like,
It's a lot.
Yeah. I have a lot of tabs open, as I would tell Michael. I have a lot of tabs open in my head. So maybe my desire for a beach. I don't see anyone else on this beach with me either. So
Just
I
you.
apologize
Just
to
you.
Michael.
So you made the coconut drink yourself.
I don't need no man.
I don't need nothing. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else there with me either. So I'm thinking that may come from this place of feeling like I have a lot of tabs open lately.
Yeah, you want to be quiet.
Yeah.
You want some quiet time.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it.
Kids.
Yeah, sorry. This is a mommy only
This
trip.
is mama only.
Yep. So I think that's where, if I could go right now, that's where it would be.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm with it.
I think we're at the time of season where it's time to go hit the beach. It's time to do all that, and not until you just said that I'm like, dang, I'd really like that. My first initial reaction was exploring a little bit. My friend Dre, he wanted to go visit all 7 continents. That was his goal, and he already did, I think, all 50 states already. Dre's like early 30s. He's
Antarctica?
already, huh? That's what I was about to say.
Antarctica?
Don't steal my thunder. Yes, that's what he wanted to go do. So
That's awesome.
He did all 50 states. Then he hit the different continents, and then his last one was Antarctica, and I think it was maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago that he went. And so him and my friend Kat, they flew down to Chile, and then the boat takes off from there. And I think it's a 2-week trip. It's
All the
about
way
a
around.
week down. Week down, and then it's a week back, and they stay a couple of days on the continent, and then they come back. And I was like, that is insane.
That's
thinking
awesome.
about that. But he went down there. He did like a little, like a polar plunge. So he went down there and did that whole deal in the water. And he says you don't stay very long there because he's like, there ain't much there. You see some penguins. You go in their little base.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's cold for sure. But then he hops back on the boat and comes back. I'm like, man,
What a life.
So that's what you would want to do, go to Antarctica?
who's been to Antarctica?
I was about to say, I don't know anybody that's been to Antarctica.
He's the one person that I know. And I don't know many people are like, oh, that would be a great trip. I think it'd just be, I can teleport and come back.
Oh, yeah, for that. Yeah, yeah.
I would teleport from the beach and then come right back.
There you go.
It is.
Let me
That's how
see
you
it
get
for
best
just
of both
30
worlds.
seconds. This is nice.
I'm taking
Back
my
to-
coconut drink with me.
I got a slushy.
You'd be the one person that had a coconut drink on Anacar, the one and only. This would be the one.
Oh, man. Let's see. I'm very much of the exploration type. I would teleport to Tokyo.
Oh.
Sushi,
Oh, yeah.
Mario Kart. I don't know if y'all know about that. They let you they have roads there where you get to dress up as one of the Mario Kart characters. They put you in a go-kart.
Stop.
And you literally get to drive around downtown. I don't know if it's Osaka or But yes, you get to do that.
Are you serious?
Dead serious, bro. Look it up when we're done with this, and you probably want to change your teleporting powers. I promise. But
hey, that sounds like a fun time.
And for me, it's just like I feel like the whole vibe. I love video games, and I know that's crazy out there. Just colors, lights. I'm very much into design and things like that, and then cars as well. I know the car culture is probably crazy out there, just from what I've seen. And so yeah, that absolutely would be my. If I could go there, like for a vacation, absolutely, that would be my number one spot right now.
Huh?
Yeah.
Driving a go-kart around Tokyo in the downtown area would be sweet.
With a whole Mario hat on, with my little mustache. You get like they dress you up like Yoshi and all of them, and Bowser, and you ride around.
We're going next level.
Oh, wouldn't that be
the only thing they don't get is
the only thing you don't get
is the weapons. But yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing. And a girl that I was friends with while I lived out west for a while, they went, and she posted pictures and everything, and I was like, this is real life. And she's like, yeah, they really, you can really go out there and do that. So I'm like, man, I'm behind. I need to get with your boy Dre, because he doing it right.
Oh, he's all over the place.
He is.
Him and my friend Kat, they go like my friend Kat. She was just telling me, where are they going? She's leaving in June for a month and a half because she works remote, and she's going overseas and just going to go work. She just came back from Switzerland, maybe 4 months ago. She stayed over there for about a month because she can do the whole remote thing.
Right.
So she worked during the day, and then at nighttime she just scampered off.
I would say that's another place too. The things I've seen about Switzerland, man, it looks like it's a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We did a little trip out there with or actually it was me and my wife. Globus is a really good company to use. That was the one that we took. And
okay.
You hop in the big old bus. They take you around. They plan everything out for you. You
Nice.
kind of can choose your trip and the stops, and then you just get out, go see the sights, go see all the things, get back on the bus. They take you. You don't have to worry about driving. We did Iceland a few years back. My wife is a big traveler, and I'm like,
That's
down.
what you got to do, though. You have to while you can.
Mm-hmm.
You really do.
We took the kids on that one, and that one we drove. And I was a little concerned at first, like, man, we're going to have to drive everywhere. But it was the best thing we ever did because it's not a very busy country. And we drove the countryside. We drove all the way from the west coast to the east coast and then hit the stops all the way back to Reykjavik and flew out.
You living my dreams, man.
It's awesome.
You
Come on along, man.
I need to. I can fit in the trunk.
I mean, maybe we can take the Mario Kart out there. You might have to fit in the trunk.
They don't want to see us doing that. They don't want to see us doing that.
It'd be the first dude driving down the street in a Yoshi costume and his coconut drink.
What is that in his coconut drink? Yes.
A combination of all three.
Yeah, why
Absolutely.
not? Why
Yeah.
not?
Absolutely.
Brandon, we're excited to have you, man. The positivity you bring to the contact center and anybody around you is infectious. It's awesome. And, I know not everyone at Morris-Jenkins knows who you are, but the people that know who you are, it's impossible that not everybody here at Morris-Jenkins knows who Brandon is because he's shining going down the hall.
This guy.
But, the group wants to know, Brandon, who is he? Where did you come from? How did you get here? What was your path to here to Morris-Jenkins? I know you're in the contact center. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'll try to do the condensed version because it is very vast. But I was born in Lancaster, South Carolina, and I think I was around 4 years old, and my parents got a divorce. My father had some issues with beverages, I'll just say, and they did not see eye to eye on that. My mother's a very God-fearing, church-going lady, and it just did not work out. So they separated, and I was with my mother. I'm the youngest of three sons. Both of my brothers, as they got into high school, kind of wanted to. They were at that rebellious age where it's like I'm grown more than I know more than you know,
Right.
type deal. So they wanted to go stay with my father, and they both did. Had their ups and downs in that scenario, but I always stayed with mom because I was just like, I'm very much of a observant person, and I would see them do things and get in trouble for it, and I'm like, nope, not doing that. Nope, not doing that. And that just kind of just led to me and her having this bond that, like I said, but besides being my mother, I think was probably my first best friend, because my love for things made her love things. We were just talking about the Power Rangers the other day, funny enough. We still talk about it. She would just message me randomly if a Rocky movie's on. Like, oh, I'm watching Rocky 3. And I'm like, what channel is it? Because that's just what we used to do. And so going through school, my mother was a teacher, by the way. So that was always crazy, because anytime I was at school and I did anything, they're like, don't make me call your mama. Because I literally can call her. I'm like, yeah, because you definitely know her. I don't have no choice over it. So I would, deal with that. And I remember in 5th grade, I was at Buford Elementary, and my mother was a career and leadership teacher at the time. So I did exploratory class. We actually had that class, and I was in there with some of my friends, and we were making jokes and everything. So my mother takes us to the side and writes us up. And do you know she said, go home and have your parents sign this? As if you not the person.
Mom, can you just...
So I got home and she was like, oh, how was your day? First of all, I rode to school with you. I rode home with you. So why are you trying to play? Like, she's like, so how was your day? And I'm like, and she's like, oh, so you was acting out in class today. So that was
hold on, time out.
Exactly.
Like
that was her, bro.
So she goes in like acting mode.
Absolutely.
Through this whole thing. And what was going on in your head right there when all that was going on?
It's her. I was just like this like, as I'm not, because obviously if I'm like laughing and stuff, she's not. But it was just one of those things where, even though I think it was more so in the moment at school, it was the embarrassment that I kind of felt around my friends. Because they like, man, your mom really gonna write us up, bro? Like, yeah, she is. And knowing and I still got punished after we talked about it. Like, and she was the type to, because for me, you could take everything away from me, but because I was an art kid, if I had a pen and a paper, I was fine. Because I'm drawing superheroes, I'm drawing cars, whatever. So that's what she would take from me. She might take the TV and the PlayStation out of the room, but then if she takes my pen and pad, then I'm like, I'm literally just sitting out the window, just staring outside. So she knew how to get to me. But again, it was one of those things where I never, and I can honestly say this, never got in trouble for the same thing twice. If it happened to me, I learned my lesson and I moved forward without, again, and then seeing what my brothers might have done, same deal. Fast forward, I graduated from Lancaster High School, went to Winthrop University, majored in illustration, and not realizing at the time that is not a major that has a job waiting for you when you get out. I worked at the YMCA while I was in college, and when I graduated, there was a girl that worked with me who was from Arizona, that went to Winthrop with us. And I was just making the offhand statement like, man, I've always wanted to move out west. Like, I always wanted to. This girl came back and was like, so, I don't know if you want to, but I talked to my aunt, and her aunt owned her own nail polish business. And her uncle had a room in his house that he was like, if he wants to stay. Now, this is just
all
off the chance, bro. And me, people don't, like, I'm always like, when these opportunities come, I'm going to jump on them because I don't know. And I had known her, and I had faith in myself. And so my mother and I packed up my little Honda Civic, and we drove all the way from Lancaster, South Carolina, all the way to Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
I hate Texas. It is the longest. We were in Texas the entire day, and we were getting sleepy. And I was like, I'm not staying in this state. We have been in this state for 13 hours.
The moment we left South Carolina, we were in Texas.
Right. I was like, yo, we still here. Like, I have not seen a sign yet for a new state. So we finally got into New Mexico and stayed. But I was like, I'm not staying in this state. But we got there, met the people, man. Had a good feeling about it. She had a good feeling about it. And I didn't know this until later, but she had called my brother like when she was getting back to the airport and was like, I can't believe I'm really leaving him. I can't believe I'm really going to leave him all the way over here and I can't see what he's doing or whatever. And luckily my brother at the time kind of was saying the same thing, like, you know, Brandon knows right from wrong, and he's done things to know where he should and should not be. And that I stayed there for a year was the most awesome experience. I met one of my really good friends, Anthony, out there, and I still talk to him today. And I ended up coming back home for like a summer, and while I was here, I was like, I'm gonna go back and work at the Y, and I started to get those feelings of home again. And I was like, I think I'm gonna just stay. So luckily I did, because by me staying, I met my wife. We went to high school together but never dated or anything. She ended up moving to Fort Mill. I was still in Rock Hill. She tweeted me and was like, I live here now. I don't know if you still do, but I don't know anybody up here if you want to. And this was just as friends. We never were able to, scheduling conflicts, but finally I told her where I stayed in a little apartment off of Celanese Road. She said, I'll come by. I ordered Papa John's. I knew immediately it was over with, because
when that pizza lid opened
oh
up,
yeah, the pizza lid opened. It was perfect pepperoni, first of all. But this girl, before I was going to grab my piece, and she said, before you do that, do you mind if I pray? This was the first girl in Brandon's entire history that ever said anything like that. And I was like, and I could just see my mom, like, in my head, like, I gave him a thumbs up, by the way.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
And we ate the pizza, talked, man, and she left that night. And when she walked off my doorstep, I was like, that's it for me. And we've been married going on 4 years now, but we've been together for over a decade. So from that point on, it was a wrap. And so Lindsay is my absolute better half, like the best half. And then from there, I've done jobs in the restaurant industry, is where I was before I got to Morris-Jenkins. I was a manager at a Mellow Mushroom in Rock Hill. I managed the Town Tavern in Fort Mill. And then I was a server at the RH Rooftop in South Park, super fancy, pinkies up. But again, it was just like feeling like I'm doing these things and I might be making good money, yes, but I just feel like something's missing, like I'm not growing really. There's no educate, like I'm just coming here serving tables, hey, how you doing, and I go home. Yeah. Lindsay's brother, who was a former tech here, just mentioned to me and was like, you know, Morris-Jenkins is like a really good place to work. Like you might want to look into it. And so I did. And that was a year ago. I came in very nervous in the interview. I still remember Jess and them talking to me. It was like, we had to really break you down to understand who, because, you know, you come in and it's like new people and I'm having to like slacks and everything coming in. And I'm like, that's not really me as much. I'm very much relaxed. So I'm like trying to say all the right things and have the right posture. And my
pinkies were up.
Oh, the pinkies up. I walked out of the room, and when I came back in, Jen goes, so didn't you say something about you were a Panthers fan? And Jess said literally as soon as she said that, she saw my shoulders drop down. I like just sat like I'm sitting now and just started talking. And she was like, that's who we wanted to see. We didn't want to see that, you know, put on for, that's who we wanted to see. And from that point on, Rob, it has been a constant, like you said, you zoom out and it's just that constant incline. And yes, when you zoom in, it might have its little hiccups, but it has been a progression for me that's not only helped me in my professional life, but absolutely in my personal life, to just be a better version of Brandon. It's put me on a standing, and then to have people like you guys who are here that I'm able to talk to and pull things from, it just enhances when I come in here on a daily basis, to just get something out of it and hoping that I'm giving something as well. So I know that was long, but that's like the condensed version of who Brandon Belk is.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting to me. That's one of the reasons we started this podcast, right? Is because we have so many people here with really cool stories, and just how did they end up here? And we just don't get to see each other enough. We don't have the time, to always interact with each other that way. So I think it's really cool to hear how people's paths, how do we get to this place where we cross paths in our lives? Because I do believe that somehow, some way, we end up crossing other people's paths for one reason or another.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm glad people know more about you now.
Yeah. Heard.
And good on Jen and Jess for recognizing and just having the guts and the skills to
pull it out.
Yeah, say that, because in interviews it's really hard to figure out the type of because of course you're going to put your best foot forward. And
I was scared, because again, this was going to be I knew it was going to be a good opportunity, and I did not want to mess it up. And I tell them that now. She has to, when Jess sends me a message on 5-9 if I need to come to the office, she has to say, this ain't nothing bad. Because and I don't know if y'all ever had it, but there would be times where that would happen, and with certain jobs, it's like the only time they want to talk to you is for something bad. They never want to talk about good things. So that's one of the things that's funny with us. And she's like, before I even say it, she's like, it's nothing bad, I promise. Just come in, we just need to talk about something. But again, it was because I told her, I don't want to mess up anything, not only for myself, but obviously what we do, mistakes can lead to bigger issues, like with what we do. Sending the wrong people, not the right information, and then we get there, and now the customer, when we're supposed to be making it as easy as possible, now we've made it as complicated as possible. So I've done the complete opposite of my job. And so I always want to make sure I'm moving forward in the right direction with the right information, and they've absolutely helped me do that. Yeah.
It's good team, man, over there.
For sure.
Yeah. Making sure that we're helping the customer, that's obviously ultimately our biggest focus point. We always want to make it easy, make it straightforward, but there's going to be moments where you mess stuff up.
For sure.
I know if I'm up there training or teaching, there's going to be stuff that I mess up, but I wanted to say something, because you were saying earlier, you felt like I'm working at these jobs, but I just don't think this is it. Pinkies up and all, it's like this just ain't it for me. And I heard something the other day. This guy was saying we tend to rise to the level of success that we allow ourselves to reach. And you were saying that, hey, this is just not it for me. And for some people, you find that job, that position, and you're like, all right, this is good enough, or this is okay. And sometimes this is okay for now, and then now ends up being 10, 15 years, and it's like, dang, what happened?
Yes, man.
And what did you feel like was the thing that just kind of kicked you in the butt, and it's like, I need to have a change? Was there a moment, or somebody say something to you, or was it an internal thing that happened?
I think for me, so I was a server there, and at this place, when you become a manager, you're in a full suit. Which I didn't have a problem with at the time, nothing like that, because I can do those things. But it was one of those things, and I don't want this to come off as braggadocious or whatever, but I just knew when I hit those tables, it was a different feeling. I could see it from how the people reacted when I came in. I could see it from even my coworkers when they see that I'm on the schedule that day. Because it's kind of like what you said, I want the environment, I want harmony, I want that. So when I would come in, it's I'm checking to make sure everybody else is doing things, and little things we were supposed to only be kind of responsible for busting our own tables and stuff. But if I see it, I'm going to go get it, because obviously it's kind of a trickle down thing of, I see Brandon doing it, I'm going to go do it for somebody. Why wouldn't you not? So it would just run, I felt smoother. It came time for, I was an interim manager, so they were kind of just giving me a little bit of task to see if I could take the big job. And they offered me the position, and the number at which they wanted me to take the job, I was just and again, I told them, I was I don't want this to come off wrong, but I just feel like I'm worth more than that. Like what I do in here, like this would be for somebody who does the bare minimum at this role, but I know that I do that job and then some, because I'm who everybody comes to. This was even before, because when you're at a restaurant, you go get the manager if something's going wrong or whatever. People would come get me. I'm not even but it was just like, because they know I can just talk to people, and they're like, we know you can diffuse situations, so I'm doing those jobs without even getting the compensation for it. And I'm like, I just and it was kind of like, that was a point where I'm like, I appreciate what everybody has done for me. I appreciate what I've been able to do, but I've realized I think I'm just at the end of my journey here. Because if you want me to do more and I'm taking on more responsibility, I'm still going to give you that extra on top of the new responsibility. So I just felt as though it was, and I mean, we talked about it. The guy went and talked to like the higher ups, and they were just like, no. And I'm like, they don't know me. Like they're only going off of what you're saying or whatever. But if they came in here and said, and that's what was even crazier, we would have people from the other galleries come to Charlotte, because the RH here was like one of the newer ones built. So there's one in New York, Chicago, San Francisco, the big cities. They would come here, and who do you think the server is that they wanted to go take care of those people? And because again, it ain't nothing to me to talk to somebody and make sure that you're gonna have a good experience. The food is gonna be what it is, but I think a lot of times what I also learned, you can go to a restaurant and have base level food. The service can be great, and you will rate it better than it probably is. But the opposite can happen. You can have great food, and the person service never come around, and you're like, I didn't get the full experience. So I would just approach it in that way every single time, and it was way more rewarding on that end than when I was trying to upgrade. So at that point in time, I was just like, I'm gonna just cut ties with this. And funny enough, at that point in time, there was a gentleman who worked with me, which I don't know if y'all have heard about these like real estate investors that wholesale and stuff like that. He was into that, and it was sounding good to me, because he was like, you can do this and you get like a lump sum, whatever. And I tried it for a while, but I just realized, like, my wife is a real estate agent, so I see the true method of how those things go, and then what we were doing there. And not to knock who everybody, because you get your money how you get it, but there were just some things that I didn't agree with, that I couldn't morally stand on. And I'm like, I don't think this is, and that was at the time where Michael, her brother, mentioned Morris-Jenkins, and I was like, I need to have something stable, and I need to have something that's going to help me progress. Like, and from everything he told me in his own progression, I was like, I need to go see about this. And I think I can't remember her name, that sent the first email, and we were already joking. I was like, when I see you, I'm gonna make sure I bring you some cookies or something like that.
Was it Megan?
Megan, yes. I knew it was with an M.
God bless her.
Yes. So we talked, man, and I remember I came in that day, and like I said, I was just like, I want to make sure I get everything right, like, because I just don't want to. And then obviously I got Lindsay at home, like, you better figure something out. Yeah. Like, you got to figure something out, because, real estate can be fluctuating. So she has her good moments, but then you have times where people ain't got no money, so people not buying houses. Yeah. So it's afforded me a great level of consistency, but at the same time, a level of growth. And I just had a one-on-one with Jess yesterday and told her the same thing, that I'm so thankful that I'm in a place that is able to take care of me in that sense, and that I hope I'm giving something to, and I'm continuously learning. Like, there's going to be a lot of things I'm sure I'm going to take from this conversation today that's going to help me when I go back on that floor, and hopefully the people listening take something from it as well. Yeah.
So we got to backtrack here. Did Megan get her cookies?
She didn't get her cookies.
Did?
She didn't.
She didn't. Fix that today.
I do gotta fix that.
Gotta fix that.
She did not, and I'm sorry, Megan, but yeah, we're gonna make that.
Megan, you're gonna get you some cookies by the end of the week, and
yeah,
it's Thursday.
The pressure is on. The pressure is on.
Yeah, I think it's also really cool that you, and this is something also too, like I didn't recognize about myself until I got to Morris-Jenkins, but I think a lot of times we don't think about or recognize trying to be in a place where we get to utilize our strengths.
Yes.
And so I think, so when you were, working in the restaurant industry and being able to interact with people all the time and providing them with that experience, that seems to me like it was right in your wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. That's you getting to use your strengths all the time. And I feel like I've never talked to you on the phone here, but I can't imagine a customer calling in and not feeling your energy through the phone. And so I think that's just really, I think it's really awesome. It's really cool how we can find people that can come on board here, and we can tap into the thing that makes Brandon. Yeah. And I think that is, like I said, that's not something I recognized about myself either. What were my strengths, and were the jobs that I had prior to Morris-Jenkins, was I getting to utilize those strengths every day in some capacity? Now, is every day sunshine and rainbows?
Absolutely not.
No. But for the most part, I do get to do what I'm good at most of the time. And so I just think it's awesome how we can find those, because I'm sure I don't know if there was any point in your life where you were like, man, I'm going to take care of customers in this way. And then here you are able to just do that and do it well. And I think that's really awesome.
He does it well. He saw me yesterday.
I snuck up.
I told you I was going to go talk to him and ask him a question.
Was he on the phone?
Oh, he was.
Oh.
I was walking down the hall, and I just was like, let me go ask him. And I thought I heard his voice, but I didn't know who he was talking to. Obviously, he's talking to a customer. So I was going to announce myself, but then I'm like, we'll just stand here and listen. Man, you want to talk about customer service? Yes, ma'am. Totally can. Yes, ma'am. What other questions do you have for? I'm just like, listen to this guy, professional.
They taught us well.
Pinkies up.
They taught us well.
I'm gonna start calling them pinkies.
Chauncey Pinkies.
There it is.
No.
It's customer service is one of those rewarding jobs. You get to take care of people, and it also can be really challenging because not everybody's in a good mood every day. A lot of times customers are calling us on the worst day of the month for
Absolutely.
them. Something's broken, and we want to be that good spirit on the phone, helping them out. Sometimes people aren't always on their best day, and they might be calling. And we're imperfect people. We mess stuff up sometimes, but it's. I would say probably one of the most challenging jobs we have here is being a CSR, because you take 50, 60, 70 phone calls in a day. You got 50, 60, 70 customers, different personalities, different problems, and be able to be on your toes and being able to navigate those waters can be really, really hard. And people can be challenged. I think I heard a long time ago, it was like business would be easy if you didn't have customers. It's like, man, fixing an piece of equipment, easy. Dispatching a tech, easy. You deal with somebody that's a little upset, it's like, it can be a little hard.
That's why I want to make sure I take time and shout out all those CSRs and the e-support people, because I hear the conversations around me, I see the messages that come across, and there are difficult people that we do have to deal with, but there's something that I've, more than a lot of these people know that work with me, that I've learned from them, things that I've heard them saying, and just being helpful, like just popping my head over and saying, hey, have you heard of this situation before? And people being willing to help. So shout out to everybody up here in the contact center, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. I have said from day one, don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. To not know what you're going to get on the other end of that line, and just to go into every single one, because you could have just had the crappiest call of the day, and then the phone rings again, and it's like you have to wipe the slate clean
and go start anew.
Yeah.
That's that prepare step. You got to just be ready, and we'll get into, again, the topic, but that's why you can't let that one affect the next one, because that next one could be somebody new that also needs the PA, and your attitude going into that may turn them off. That's a sale that you may or may not make. That's a new customer that we may or may not have. So and it can be difficult, like you said, but you just got to kind of wash that one away. It's the I don't know if Kobe said it or Michael Jordan said it, but it's like you miss a shot, but if you let that sit on you, you're going to continuously miss it.
For sure.
Like it's just another field goal attempt. We got to go again. Like the game is still going. So it's that mentality.
I think, Dewey's talked a lot about business. He's talked about people. I mean, he does such a good job with just so many of the different principles that are out there that have helped us all be successful in this business. Is there something that you've learned from Dewey, something that you've heard, read, that has stood out to you in your time that you've been here?
It would have to be, and that's what I was getting at, is to not lose your faith in people. And I know when we discussed doing this podcast, I sent y'all a little message, and that's kind of where I come from as far as how I try to approach things. I think that we wake up on a daily basis, and you can turn the TV on or you can turn the radio on, and you may hear something or see something that makes you lose hope for what can be in society. And like I said in the email, I think that the bad apple situation, I think, does exist in all facets of life, no matter where you look, even the highest places, the lowest places. But as I said, I think that there's good fruit still out here, and sometimes you have to weed your way through to find it. But it's kind of like we were saying, you can have a conversation with somebody on the phone that is just maybe rude to you, even though you're trying to help them. And when you hang up that phone, you can't assume that the next person calling is going to be that same way. I had a lady the other day, man, that called wanting to give compliments to Tech, Shane, and Noah. I don't remember the last names, but this lady started crying on the phone, dog. No. Like, she was like, these people came and showed me so much compassion, and people don't do that no more. And she was like, I'm an old lady. They walked me around. They showed me exactly what they were going to do. There was nothing that I was worried about. Like, I didn't feel like anybody was taking advantage of me. And I know people like to take advantage of old people, and see that, in a sense, something that has happened to her makes her believe I'm kind of going to be on guard, because you might not be who you say you are. And I hate that that's kind of where we are as a society. But I think that you have to just push through, and like I said, man, you got to look for those positive things, and that's who I want to gravitate towards, is the people who are trying to do things the right way, the people that are trying to make an impact in a positive way. Because again, if you dwell on the negative, I think it consumes you, and that's what becomes your world, and all you're going to see is that. No matter how good something can be, all you're going to see is, man, this gonna cost this much, man. This gonna take up this much time, and I ain't trying to be with these people. Like, but sometimes you have to push through, like I said, and go and continue to go, man. And it's just so much. I would say, even speaking, as a black man in this country, like growing up, there have been things, positive and negative, that I've experienced, and I can't allow those things to make me feel like everybody is that way, because everybody's not that way. My mother raised me away, your mother raised you away, your mother raised you away, but it's not saying everybody's mama is going to be that way, or everybody's situations will be that way. We all come from different environments. I think the beauty in us as a society is finding those similarities and building on them. How we can grow together, how we can show some love to each other. That's what Brandon is about. Brandon is about just a good time, man. A good feeling, and because we got enough of that. We have enough things that's gonna bring you down. We got enough people that want to say negative things. I'm gonna speak real quickly about a cousin of mine just did his first bodybuilding show, and he told me that his entire time he was going through his prep, there was a guy that was at his gym that was always like, man, you got this, you doing this, you doing this. And after the show, he went back to the gym, and I'm not sure if the guy was judging him, saying, you didn't look as good as you thought you was going to, whatever, but just completely changed and was like super negative about it. And my cousin was like, man, I wanted to punch this dude in the face, but I just walked away. And I'm like, it's things like that. Like, even sometimes when you think it's all good, they may have a rooted feeling over something that you didn't even do. Mm-hmm. You trying to chase your dream, but there can be people that see that, and maybe if they're not trying to chase theirs, or they see you getting the shine that they want to have, but not knowing the work that you're putting in to get it. Mm-hmm. So again, you can experience people in traffic.
No, dude, stop. What, on 77 and 85? No.
You can experience people at the grocery store. You can experience people at the fast. Man, one of my favorite things me and my wife die over, there is a Facebook page called Rock Hill Eats. And people, it's for reviews and everything for all the food. Man, people are on there. Somebody today, I went to Wendy's and I sat for 9 minutes to get my baked potato, and I could hear them on the line, and I just know they didn't want to make it. And they like, I waited 17 minutes, walked in the store, the door was closed, and I walked in, and the kids was back there on their phones and stuff behind the counter. And I'm like,
there's my burger sitting on the counter.
There it is, cold.
looking at me under the heat lamp.
But we the negative gets so much more shine, man.
Yeah.
And I just would hope that we tell more good stories, mm-hmm. and tell more empowering and uplifting stories to make people see that there is a brighter side to life. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about this. I don't remember all the statistics off the top of my head, but when Shallon and I teach MJ Easy, they talk about that. Like, there's actually research behind the fact that people are so many times, I'm not even going to guess, mm-hmm. but people are X amount of times more likely to share a negative experience than they are a positive experience. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why we do that is because we're looking for sympathy or empathy from other people to say, like, oh my gosh, they did that to you? I can't believe they did that to you. We're looking for somebody to take our side.
Yes.
And so that's one reason why people are more likely to share negative rather than positive. And I think just as humans in general, which we've talked about this a little bit, our brains are geared for self-preservation, mm-hmm. right? To keep us alive.
Yes.
So we're always looking at the negative, trying to figure out, our body's trying to figure out how to navigate it, how to figure out how to move through the negative because it feels like a threat. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'll even find myself focusing more on the negative and not looking at the positive. Mm-hmm. If I go into my kids' rooms, right, and they've taken the time to clean up, I very rarely say anything about that. Like, I should be jumping all over that, being like, oh my gosh, look how great the room looks. Yeah. You took so much time. It looks so much better. Like, this looks great. So I very rarely do that. But if I walk in there and it looks like a bomb went off,
it's on.
I will always speak about that.
Uh-huh.
And so it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I want them to keep cleaning their rooms without me asking 100 times, Skittles and M&Ms.
Always works.
You got to be giving more and more and more of that positive reinforcement. Mm-hmm. We would get more positive if we gave more positive. Mm-hmm. So I do think that that's interesting how that's kind of across the board.
Everywhere.
I do it at home, but we see it in, reviews and things like, we see it everywhere, how the negative, it gains traction. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of it is because people they might think the positive. I think we have plenty of customers who are like, man, that was really awesome. But then it just whoosh, is gone.
Absolutely.
They don't think about it anymore. They don't think about taking the time to write a review or whatever. But if it was a negative experience, it don't leave the brain. It don't leave the brain so fast.
And I make sure whenever I do have people call in, I tell them that when they call in and they're like, I want to just talk about the tech that was here today, and I just want to tell somebody about how good they did. I always make sure they know. I'm like, I take these seriously because I know how easy it is to get on here and go on this person did this and I want somebody else to agree with me that this is the worst company and everything like that. But you have somebody doing it, and I'm like, thank you for taking the time to do this, because they need to hear this. They're absolutely gonna hear it if they forgot to put a switch back on or anything like that. But to know, like I said, when that lady called me and she was crying, I was like, this is the real. They need to pull this call, have some way of having this in a frame, auditory for something that you can just pull back and listen. Because I'm like, that's what it's like. You took the time to really give me your heart about what these guys did, because they did a good job. And they need to know that, because I know a lot of times, like you said, one of the things I was happy that we were able to do is those ride-alongs, because we're able to see what you got to deal with driving to these places, the people you're meeting, the spider webs.
Why you roll your eyes?
Anybody got time for spider webs?
Absolutely not. I can't stand.
I know you're a Spider-Man fan, but you don't like spider webs.
I do. Absolutely not. Cannot do it, man. I will walk through a spider web and turn into a ninja. It ain't everything. I'm everything.
Did the text show you about the spider stick? Did they give you one of those?
Oh no, I ain't see a spider stick.
You didn't get no spider stick?
No, I ain't see no spider stick. I'm gonna be real with you. I did not go in the crawl space. He was Brandon, like, I'm going down here, and I'm like,
how did you get the full experience?
Because I saw one. I'm like, I'm gonna be right here, bro. I'm right here with you. I got you, man. But I'm watching. I'm the observer. I told you.
Brandon pulls up his binoculars off his chest.
I got you, bro.
I'm gonna wait right here.
But I'm telling you, I'm not. Can't do it, man. Because if I get down there and something bites me, it's a wrap, Rob. It's a wrap.
He's like, hey, I love Morris-Jenkins, but I'm out.
I'm out. So
no, man, you got to use the spider stick.
What is a spider stick?
You just go in somebody's yard, you find a stick.
So it's your
own. You come back over to the door, and then you just do a little alohomora up in there, and you just spin that thing around. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You just spin it around, and you make a cotton candy stick with all the spider webs. You make a tunnel all the way to where you got to work, and then you tunnel back out. That's it.
That is genius.
And listen, the spiders, when you do the little abracadabra thing. When you do that, the spiders get wrapped up on the inside of the cotton candy, the spider webs, and
they can't get out.
And you good. Now, Brandon, if you would have rolled with me out in the back, there was one call I remember going to when I was a tech, and I opened the crawl space door, and it was a little short door. It was maybe only foot and a half tall. I ain't getting this J-Lo up in there, right? I opened the door. I opened the door, and there was 5 black widows on the door. On the door. And I was like,
I'm out.
I can only imagine what's in there.
Oh, man. And I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about going in here right now. And I gave him a little
spider stick.
Wrist work.
I made it happen, man. I was like Voldemort holding one little stick with the tip of my finger.
Give me that.
And I got them all off there, and then I'm like, I'm shining the light, and it looked like Indiana Jones, like when he went through all the spider webs, and I was like, man. But I mean, I can tell you right now, I think my whole time out in the field, I think I get bit one time.
Okay.
And I don't know what it was, and I just kind of felt, I'm like, did I just get bit? I mean, most times the spiders ain't gonna mess with you, but if you're messing with them, they'll come after you. But I don't know. I know that over time, you're out in the field, you find the little tricks, the little things. But it's just like anything else. Like that's what learning and development's all about, is you learn the little tips and tricks. And I know even in the contact center, the more customers that you get that are maybe on the upset side, you learn the skills to navigate that. On the positive side, it's like, man, I need to get as much of that. And Meredith, what you were saying earlier about the Skittles and M&Ms, I didn't want to miss that, because I know our topic today, Brandon, you want to talk about development. And I think that's personal development, life development. There's so many little things that you learn, little skills that you can get better at. And you said Skittles and M&Ms, and I think that was in your, don't tell me, hold on. Bring Out the Best in People, that class. Bring Out the Best in People, good book. So Meredith, you teach a class on that, and we're talking about how to increase responses from people. How do I get more of a certain type of behavior? And we typically want to smack people when they do the wrong thing. Tell us about Skittles and M&Ms.
So when we do Bringing Out the Best in People is all about positive reinforcement. That's what that whole book is about. And so we talk about really where this comes from is potty training. So
here we go.
You never know what you're going to get when you come to a class.
Here we go.
So most people can relate to either potty training a small human or an animal, right, to some extent. And so I use the example of when my children, when I was potty training the girls, and so obviously there's so much that goes into that. You're asking them every 30 seconds, like, do you need to go to the potty? Do you need to go to the potty?
Yeah.
Potty? And so, but then every time that they go, in our house, say what you want about my mothering skills, okay? But when at my house, if you went into the potty, you got a piece of candy. Okay?
I'm mad at it.
Because candy is motivating to kids. Do we use candy for everything? No, we do not. But if they did, it was Skittles and M&Ms. So we had M&Ms and Skittles at the ready. If you went in the potty, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Look at you going to the bathroom in the potty. You're such a big girl. Here's some M&Ms. Right?
That's it, man.
You're like shoving them at them. Don't you love M&Ms? Here's some more. Right? And then so every time it was Skittles and M&Ms, Skittles and M&Ms every single time they went in the potty. And all that is positive reinforcement. I was doing it with candy, but you don't have to, as we get older, obviously, candy's still a reinforcer for me, but we use other things. We use our words, we use our actions, we use those things to positively reinforce behavior that we want. It's no different. And so, just like the example I gave about the girls and cleaning their rooms, I need to reinforce not with theoretical Skittles and M&Ms, that behavior. The behavior that I want is for you to clean your room without me saying so. So when you do that,
you gotta be on it.
I gotta reinforce the hell out of that. Like, the top better blow off this mother. I'm reinforcing it. So, I mean, I better be like, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful your room looks.
Yep, absolutely.
Fireworks shooting off in the backyard.
Gotta go crazy.
So, but I think that's because what happens is when we don't get Skittles and M&Ms or the positive reinforcement for those behaviors, then we stop doing them.
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? I mean, and that is the case in everything. Like for both of you, I know you spend a lot of time working on yourself physically.
Yeah.
Right? And so you start to see changes in your body that are appealing to you because you're working towards this goal, and those are the Skittles and M&Ms.
Yeah.
When you start seeing the changes in your body, you're like, oh dang, this is working. What I'm doing is working, and it motivates you to keep going.
Yeah.
Now sometimes some Skittles and M&Ms are a little bit more delayed than others, exercise being one of them.
Yes.
You know, you have to
Brandon don't know nothing about that.
you have to put a lot in
to get something out.
Yeah.
You do.
But it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's no different than if you're trying to lose weight and you make certain choices with what you put into your body, and then you see that in the way your clothes fit or whatever the scale says, or however you're measuring that. You see that, and that's positive reinforcement. It says keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is working.
Right.
So I think that's a piece that we get wrong a lot, because a lot of times we're focused on trying to do the negative. You know, like you were saying, that technician's going to hear about it if he missed something on a call.
Absolutely.
So, but how many times does he go and do a call and do it really, really well and never hears a word?
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of times we get that backwards. And if we want people to start doing the behaviors we want them to do, then we have to start giving out more Skittles and M&Ms.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's the part that, as a manager, supervisor, or you could just be on somebody's team, like, hey man, good job. I mean, not to just get more out of that person, but also it's just, hey, good job. I mean, I think those little compliments that people give along the way, I mean, it feels really good. And I know we were talking about vulnerability in the past, and it's like, it is a vulnerable moment to just go up to somebody that's on your team out of nowhere and be like, hey, you did a good job on that call, I heard it. Good job.
People are not used to receiving compliments like that.
No.
Nor do they know how to receive that.
Oh,
Lord knows, I'm like, it was nothing.
No
as
big
you'd
deal.
say. Yeah, nothing at all. But it was something, you know? I've been on this this tear lately. I've been listening to some different podcasters and different people, and one that's just got me fired up right now is Andy Elliott. Have you ever heard of him?
That's my man in the shorts.
The man in the shorts. Yeah. That's right.
Oh,
He's like, once you see my shorts, I grab your attention.
Triggering.
I got you.
Triggering.
Yeah. But he's just got me, like, I've been on this tear, and I've been, I went to the tech meeting this morning. That's why I was running a little behind. And we were talking about development, which I know what we're talking about today, but it's like, man, to do the things that you need to do in order to see the results that you want to see, it's not gratifying in the moment a lot of times.
No.
And unfortunately, people lean into the comfort of the now. I said, man, you know, if you wonder why you're not growing to where you want to grow, just look in the mirror and realize, dang, why is the McDonald's as busy as it is right now while you're looking in the rearview mirror? You sitting there too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if you want to see change and growth and development, you have to be willing to put in the work right now in order to see that. And Brandon, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Your ability to continue to push forward and drive and try to become somebody different in the idea of delayed gratification, like you are the perfect specimen of that. I know not too long ago you just did a bodybuilding competition. You did the whole thing. Hope you're okay talking about it.
Yeah, no, perfect.
But I mean, I remember when we were talking in the hall, we talked a bunch about it.
Man.
But like just seeing, man, this is hard. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're in here, I just hear, dee, 6 times a day. Brandon's in there heating up his food. And I mean, I know the food on a bodybuilding diet is like delicious, lots of cheese.
Yeah.
You know, like all the things. You didn't eat a single piece of chicken.
Man.
It's hard to do it day in and day out, but the delayed gratification piece, like that's the sight.
Yeah.
And I mean, how long does it take in the gym for you to start to see some noticeable gains before it's like, all right, I can keep on doing this?
I mean, I think it's different for certain people. Like I'll be honest. I feel like if I was younger, it would not take as long, because as you do age, it does take longer for your body to recover after intense workouts. And so, if I was still in my 20s, probably not as long. For me, I'd say that entire time of prep for me was 20 weeks. That was 20 weeks of not having any sweets, anything. The only time I would eat off plan is if we had to boost carbs up, and it would be sushi, because obviously it's a lot of rice. But it was taxing, absolutely, man. But like you said, I will never forget the first day that I decided I was going to do it. And I'm also one of those people that when I say I'm like, it's just done. Not realizing the repercussions of that, because there was no more dinner with my wife. There was no more vacations for that point in time, because I got to stay on track. The first time I got my meal plan, I saw Rob and I was like, man, this is a lot of food, because I was normally just eating like once a day, twice a day maybe, and it jumped to 6 times a day. And I remember saying that to him, and he was like, just do it. Like, you said you was going to do it, right? And I was like, funny enough, yeah, I absolutely did.
As a matter of fact, I did.
So I guess I got to do it. Like, it was a commitment I said to myself. I had told my coach that, and I was his first client as far as taking on a bodybuilding show. He does meal plans and stuff for people, but I was the first one that was going to go that distance with him. And so I didn't want to let him down, because I'm like, this is your first time. I want it to be a success for you, for me, and also just to motivate somebody else. Not necessarily, because what this is can absolutely be seen as an extreme. Not saying that everybody's got to go that direction, but if you get something from it that just motivates you to maybe have a salad a day, or start drinking more water a day, like things like that, are the repercussions I hope that people who've seen me do this have come across. But I remember even being in your class, like, you didn't even know this, but I had to go take pictures in the bathroom. Like, when I was going to the bathroom, it was because my coach was like, I need to see what you look like an hour after you eat, because there's such a timing thing on knowing what your body will look like after you've had carbs in it, when you haven't had anything. And he was just taking picture, like notes on this every time. And for me, I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're seeing, because to me, I feel like I look the same. But he could see differences from the first meal I had in the day to the fourth meal in the day. So I'm doing those things, and I was doing that even when I'd have to take my breaks here. I'm heating up food, running in the bathroom, taking my shirt off, taking pictures. It sounds crazy, but this is what we do.
Let you leave that door unlocked one time.
Yeah, somebody walk in. Brandon, what are you doing here with OnlyFans?
Yeah. I almost have OCD. I go in there and I lock the door, and then I'm about to go. Let me go lock it.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Last thing you want to do is have that thing unlocked upstairs.
Absolutely, man. But it's it was, like I said, it was very rewarding in the moment when I finished everything, to see not only my coach's happiness, because we went in, but I told Rob, like, I'm not doing this to just get there. Like, I'm trying to win. And I was one guy away from becoming a professional in my first show. And my coach it was more than we thought we were going to do. He was elated. I had friends there. My wife's mom was there. My mom was there. It was just a nice moment to see. And I felt like one of the few times in my life where I was like, really felt accomplished. Like, I really said I was going to do something. I did not let anything distract me from not doing it. And we were able to see it come to fruition and be on that stage and to see that. And that's something hard. I was talking about this yesterday with Jess. To stand up there and people judge you and say, you don't look that good, or you do look great.
I can't imagine.
Like, to really go up there and you put yourself, like, the vulnerability is on 1,000.
Yeah.
And even in the moment where I did not beat the guy who went pro, I think it's always just who I am. I was already telling him, we were standing backstage, and I was like, you about to get it, bro. And he was like, man, I don't know, like, you. And I was like, you got it, man, you got it. And they called his name, and I'm like clapping, because again, that's what you do. You don't harbor negative and, oh man, why not me? Well, his posing was better than mine, and I know that. I can honestly say I was probably in the best shape of anybody, but I did not know the posing as well as everybody. And it's a whole game. It's not just how good you look, it's how you make it look. And his posing was better. He absolutely deserved to win. And I knew that. With this being my first one, there are things that I needed to learn. And plus, I told them, if I had showed up and completely swept the floor my first time, not even really knowing, then what do I have to push for next time?
Yeah.
If it was like given to me, kinda. And so but I will say, this is something I'm still going through now. I've been talking to Rob about this, but it takes a toll on your body to be that low body fat percentage. Hormone changes, fatigue. I was very cold at times. Like, I'd have the whole time I was in sweats and everything, but I would just be freezing because I don't have any insulation.
Yeah.
But they do keep it on 12 degrees around here, too.
Also, very true. Very true.
You should have pulled the Meredith taco or burrito she has down there. She'll have a full-on blanket wrapped around her sitting at her desk.
Yeah.
Needed. I might enlist you next time we go into prep. I'm good right now. I got a little...
Can you teach me how to fold this thing in over here?
Get me right. Get
Just
me right. Yeah, but it's... And for now, I'm just trying to just get back to a base point with my body and how I feel. And I'm in no rush to do the next one, but I know when it's game time, we'll flip the switch again. And this time, I'm going to get the card to be a pro this time. So we take the information, we learn from it, and we adjust. Yeah. And next time we'll be ready.
Yeah. What did spur this on for you? Like, have you always been the type to like being in the gym, or what made you decide to go down this road?
So funny enough, when I was in college, I had friends. We would go to the gym. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. It was because girls was in there. So we in there and we see girls in their little Zumba classes or whatever. So we just want to be in there because girls in their classes.
So Brandon's up in a Zumba class.
There you go. I'm not gonna fake the funk with you. So we would do that, and yeah, we would work out a little bit, but it was more of a social thing.
Yeah.
When I got out of college, when I was in Arizona, I got very serious because I didn't really know too many people first off. So my hobby was I would go to work, and as soon as I leave work, I go to the gym and then just come home. That was like my everyday. Until I met Anthony and we started hanging out. that was kind of like every day for me. And when I was at the Y working there, I worked there, like I said, for a number of years. And I would go because we had a free membership, so I would go in from time to time, but never took it as seriously as now. We have a friend that works for the city of Rock Hill, and they were doing a intramural volleyball league. And I'm thinking, this was in 2022. I'm thinking this is just going to be, we just going to have some fun. We just playing volleyball. The first game was against a team of CrossFitters. We didn't score a single point. Smoked. Like nothing. And I was sitting there and I was like, bro, I can't be that bad out of shape. Like, I can't suck this bad. And I kid you not, that next day, I started my first thing, and this is kind of what I want to tell people. If you want to get into the gym, do not do everything at once. My start was, I'm going to show up every day and just do 30 minutes walking on a treadmill until that's a habit, because I'm coming in here. Then I started implementing lifting. So I would lift and do my 30 minutes after I got done lifting. Then came, okay, I'm going to adjust my food to see how that goes. I started learning about the calorie deficit, everything like that, macros. Started doing that. Now, I started to see some changes, but it was not until I met my coach. He was lifting, really was in really good shape. And I told him, I was like, I've thought about doing it because I want to see what I could look like if I did go the distance. Mm-hmm. And he was like, if you ever want to talk to me about it, like, I do these things, whatever. I've never coached anybody, but I do meal plans and stuff. And I would be like, okay. And at that point in time, I was like, maybe I'll find a coach online, like Instagram or something like that. But then I got to feeling like this is a very intimate relationship. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Because I'm literally sending you pictures of myself in underwear being judged. Mm-hmm. So I was like,
that coach made his own OnlyFans for Brandon.
There you go. I probably got pictures I don't even know. I better get some kickback on that. But I just, I just for some reason I could not just, the online thing didn't work for me, and I was like, I want this to be somebody I can just go see and we can talk face to face. And he came in another day and we just talked, and he was like, I'll do it, man. Like, and I was like, okay, well, how much, do I need to pay you and everything? And he was like, you know what? We're just going to ride this out and see what happens. Like, you don't worry about doing that. I've never done it before. We're just going to see. And the relationship that he and I built over that 20 weeks, man, even now, like, literally a brother from another mother. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had conversations about life together. He's younger than me, so there's things he asked me about growing up, and he's dating someone now, and I'm thinking that might lead to something. But just to what's it like to be a husband? What's it like to be vulnerable and to not think that everything is on you? You got to know that it's a team sport now. So we grew close, which was such a blessing to me. And then, like I said, to push through that and to see how happy he was to be like, man, you really, like, we really did this together, bro. Like, we really did it together. He will be forever stamped in my life as a figure now moving forward, because I told him, regardless of where this leads, you have unlocked a new version of me that I might not have ever gotten to without you. And I'm thankful that you came into my life and that we've been able to grow together. Mm-hmm. So the sacrifices it took, man, seeing people, I didn't get to go to Thanksgiving. And if y'all know me, macaroni and cheese is my jam. So I didn't get to have any Thanksgiving food.
Y'all, he's saying this. His eyes just shut.
Y'all don't understand. And my mama makes the best banana pudding, and I was not able to get any of that. So vacations that I missed, all that stuff, but standing on that stage and them putting those medals around my neck, it was absolutely worth every sacrifice. And I want people in whatever avenue, that was what I learned. It ain't got to be in bodybuilding. It ain't got to be at work, whatever, though. I want you to feel that. I want you to sacrifice something that you have to put to the side to gain something, because I'm telling you, there's no money that will make you feel that way. I walked out, I was feeling bulletproof. Like, we walked out and I was like, first of all, I'm getting to go eat cheeseburgers.
Give me some right now.
And brownies.
I bet that was the best cheeseburger.
Man, you don't understand. The CBCB food, I'm gonna give them a plug right now. CBCB food truck in Rock Hill, probably the best burger you ever have. They posted us on their social media and everything, watching us, because I was like, we're gonna take this first bite together, me and my coach, because he did the same thing. He was like, I'm not gonna cheat while you doing this either. I'm gonna ride this with you. So we both, and he was just like, if you could just see our faces, man, just
tears rolled down his face.
Amazing. And like I said, I would want somebody to have that feeling, and whatever it is that you're trying to attain in life, personal growth, professional growth, whatever, more often than not, it's going to take some form of sacrifice. You,
for sure.
The scrolling is going to have to stop, and you're going to have to pick up a book. The going out, the drinking, whatever it is that you like to do for fun, and I'm not knocking nobody for whatever. But whatever those things are, you're going to have to dial it back some if you want to get some things that, like I said, are priceless. And I just want people to, because that feeling, man, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Mm.
You said earlier, you don't have, like, no matter what you're going to do, even if it's at the gym, but really in anything, if you're trying to get better, start small. Start on something that is, it doesn't have to be a huge change. Sometimes it's just go into the gym for 30 minutes, even 5. Mm-hmm. Just get started. If it's going to be eating healthy, it's just make one of your meals a healthy meal. So if that's one piece of advice on getting started and getting moving in that direction, I think that really the next question is that people think about is, what advice do you have for when it gets hard? Because getting started is one thing. I'm going to go to the gym, I'll spend 5 minutes. That ain't too bad. It's a little sacrifice. Mm-hmm. But you go in, day out, it ain't easy. What do you do when it gets hard?
So this is where that whole motivation and discipline thing comes into play. Because I was motivated at first from the volleyball game to get in the gym. But after a while, that feeling wears off, and it's like, okay, now this is like a second job now. I think the thing that helped me was seeing the progress, like you said earlier. Because once I saw that, then you kind of get this level of addiction, I feel like. Some people it can be extreme. Some people you can understand it and tamper it down. But I think for me, once I started seeing lines, and I tell everybody it's that, for guys, I feel like it's that bicep vein. Once you can see that vein in your bicep, it's like, okay, I've arrived now. And it just, for me, that just kept me going. But I think there are times where, because of what you're doing, I was in a situation where I don't think I could have fallen off because of the people around me, like you. Like, I know what I've committed to, so if I walk in to see Rob and Rob see me eating McDonald's or Zaxby's or whatever, it's like, bro, what? Like, what? I thought we talked about this commitment. And little things like that would play on to me, because, again, I signed up for this. I'll bring Kobe up again. Like, I signed this contract with myself. And it is very hard, I will say, to look in the mirror. And I think if we, and I'm not saying for your weight or whatever to look in the mirror, but just look in the mirror at who is looking back at you. And when that person goes out into the world, are you proud of what that person's doing? Are you proud of what that person says? Are you proud of the fruit that person is bearing, to bring it back? And that also would play a part, because, again, I'm just like, I've made this commitment, and there may be people that I don't know about that's counting on me to do this, because there might be a struggle that they dealing with that they like, well, if he can do it, I can go do it. And it might not, like I said, it ain't got to be the extreme, but I just see that he's doing something that's taking sacrifice, and it ain't something that he's seeing an immediate result for. Because, again, 20 weeks, dog, that's a long time to not have some sweets.
Yeah,
for somebody
like a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
literally.
It's almost a half a year.
And we could not go.
Time.
And my wife, like, again, I made that decision, and she was like cool with it day one. But we started getting into it, and she's like, we really can't go out. Like, we love to go eat. That's our thing. No, we cannot. There's no more Taco Tuesdays. No more, not like we're not doing it no more.
You can do Taco Tuesdays. I'm not doing Taco
And
Tuesdays.
I remember one time, man, this place, Common Market, opened in Rock Hill, sandwich shop. And she was like, let's just go get a sandwich. It's not that bad. I'm like, I can't measure it. I can't weigh that, and I don't know what the macros are in that sandwich. I'm very much dialed in right now. And you can't even have a sandwich? No. Thought my marriage was gonna be on the brakes, but like I said, she's the better half. So she understood, and she made and then again, like I said, it kind of trickled to her because she started doing things different. Like, you know what? Like, he waking up at 5 a.m. every day, going in there, busting his tail, coming home, cooking meals before he come into work. The least I could do is, and so she got in a routine of trying to take care of herself more than she already was. So, and then, like I said, from that, my mother was like, the Planet Fitness opened in Lancaster. She got a membership, and she's like, I'm going to make sure. She just turned 71. But she's like, I'm still getting my walk in. I'm going to make sure I can still move around. It's important to her. Mm-hmm. And so I think that thing of just know that there are probably people around you that are counting on you, and that's what kept me going. It was, and I'm not saying this was easy, because by no means was it, man. We would come into here, and they would celebrate and have pizza parties and, you know, Halloween stuff, candy. They had all this at our desk, and I was just looking at it like, I'm going to save all this chocolate for December. But, of course, by then it went bad, so I couldn't even eat it. But I think it's just knowing what your goal is, focusing on that goal, and not letting anything waver you, even loved ones, even friends. Because, again, when you get it, when you hold it in your hand, the feeling you're going to have will make it all worth it. Every single second will be worth it.
Yeah, I think there was something, one thing that you did too, because you even did it when you asked me about, will there be a microwave? Will there be a microwave there so I can get my food ready? And just that email alone, when you sent that to me, I was like, wow. I was like, what a level of dedication and commitment. Like, that to me was just like, if you need a microwave, I will find you a microwave, because I can respect and appreciate that. And one thing that I think we do, or we should do, when we're committed to something like this, is you weren't afraid to say it out loud and tell other people, because then, like you were saying about Rob, what you're doing is you're building your circle of accountability.
That's it.
So when you come in and you say to everybody here, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm working on, by doing that, by putting it out into the universe, really what you're doing is giving everybody else, whether they do or don't, but you're giving everybody else permission to hold you accountable when it gets really hard. Yeah. And I think that's something that we're often scared to do, because we know that's what it does. We know when we put it out into the universe, we've given everybody else permission to ask us if we get McDonald's while we're doing that.
Yep.
And so I think that was one thing that you also didn't have a problem doing, is saying, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And by doing that, in essence, opened up more, your circle of accountability became bigger, which helps, I think.
Oh, for sure.
In those times when you're feeling...
When it's rough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when we talk about discipline before, we were just talking about, if you're going to have discipline to do anything, do a bodybuilding competition, if it's eating clean, like whatever development we're talking about, whatever those things are, discipline's important. Telling people is another strategy to use, because if I tell you this is what I'm going to do, I expect you to hold me to it. It's easy to not tell anybody, and it's even easier to let your own self down.
Absolutely.
You were saying look in the mirror, and sometimes we see ourselves in the mirror. We see ourselves, but we're not looking. Like, you're not really looking at who's standing on the other side of that mirror. But when we have people that hold us accountable, we're able to walk that path, and people are able to give us that encouragement we need, or the feedback we really need to hear. I heard this quote. It says, at every moment we are creating the evidence that we do or do not achieve the life that we desire. Like, you're always casting chips in the direction to show yourself, did I deserve this life that I desire or not? So if I'm not I mean, I was telling Tex this morning, you are making a decision, even not making a decision. Is this the path I'm going to go? Yes, I'm going to go that direction. Or no, I'm just going to hang out here and keep on living this life that I've had. You're still making a decision at the end of the day. So if you know you're always creating evidence to yourself that you're going to get the life that you do desire or you do not desire, you're still doing it. Like you still got to do something. So accountability is a big piece when we think about development. If it's personal development, if it's physical development, mental development, having people hold me accountable and say, hey, I'm going on this journey is important. And I think when we think of development, we know there's benefits to being healthy. There's benefits to learning a new skill, being around people that are going to push us. I mean, they help develop our strengths. You start to learn new skills that are going to make you more money or make you a better spouse, make you a better person. I mean, I'm sure your confidence level was sky high whenever you walked out of there. By the way, Brandon hadn't said it in here. He says, that other guy got the card. Brandon, what place did you win in this competition?
I was first place in 3 different categories.
What were those categories, my man?
I was first place in debut, first place in open, and first place in novice. So, I had 2 pose downs with 2 different guys that they both ended up going pro. And again, and I'm gonna be real with you, we got up there, and before the show started, they called out because there was a 17-year-old kid that was he was the only one that was in the teenage division. So he was out there by himself, and they were going through the poses, and me and my coach looked at each other, and I'm like, that's not what we've practiced. So we literally tried to learn the poses on the fly backstage. So I will say again, to even got to where we were was strictly, I would say, off of the conditioning that we got to. But had we known what we would have done, it would have been a wrap. Like, I don't doubt that at all. But yeah, it was, and that's another thing, like I told you, we can adapt. Because even though I didn't do it perfectly, I was still able to get to a pose down. Which we were, and the guy, the final one, Rob, we were up there for 20 minutes, dude. Like, just holding.
Doing a pose down
like
at 20
with the
minutes?
dude, like, they just kept turning us around. And I'm like, dude, how have y'all not made a decision yet? And they be like, face the curtain again. And I got to show my back. Then turn back around and flex. And I'm like, I'm getting cramps. I
can't breathe.
Like, we're sitting here sucking it. Yeah, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, how have y'all not? And I don't know. My wife kept saying, I think they were trying to give you a chance to get the poses right, because they knew you would have won. Like, if you just, and I just could not. In the moment, it's so much going on. The lights are on you. You got people right there in front of you just looking at you, and they're writing stuff down. And I'm like, what are you writing? And I also want a cheeseburger. And why is that guy taking pictures? It's a lot going on. But like I said, man, I'm happy with the result, because I know next time now we're going to be prepared.
Yeah.
And preparation is key.
Well, and I think that just to go back to maybe kind of this is what Rob was talking about this idea of development and looking at yourself in the mirror and having the right mindset around that. When you looked out there and recognized that you hadn't been practicing the right poses or you didn't know the right poses, that could have been an opportunity to just be like, I'm done.
Oh, absolutely.
It could have been an opportunity to be like, this is not going to work. I don't know what to do, and go into, death spiral. But I think a lot of this development that you've done for yourself and on yourself and through this process, it's like, I'm not death spiraling right now.
No.
I don't know exactly what to do, but I'm going to watch somebody and I'm going to figure this out. You have a choice in that moment. You have a choice in that moment to be like, well, we're done. We're doomed.
Yeah.
All of this for nothing.
I done wasted 20. Yes.
Yeah. And so, or you have the choice to say, okay, who can I watch? Who can I ask? Can I Google something real quick? Like, I'm just not going to roll over and die. At that time, and I do think I wrote that down about development is, we choose. We always have a choice. And so is the choice to just say, hey, look in the mirror and say, this is it. I'm who I am. I can't change. My circumstances can't change. This is just it. And so I think we get to choose in every situation. And so I think it speaks a lot to where your mindset was in the development that you've had for yourself, that in that moment you didn't just throw up your hands. You made a choice in that moment to just do the best we can with what we've got, because we've come too far to make the choice to give up now.
Absolutely.
And your mental, see, that's the thing, is you physically were training yourself and developing yourself and growing, and that's one piece. But the other half of that people don't typically see is the mental game that goes along with that, because just like you said, all right, I'm done. It's game over. We've all heard somebody around us at some point, at work, at home, whatever, this is never going to work. Your mental development that you had gained up until that point, whether it was in that 20 weeks or before, which I feel like it's before, because I feel like it's who you are. If you hadn't had that, it would have culminated in that one moment of like, dude, I'm done. I'm just going to pose how I've practiced instead of learning this new thing. And the other side of that, the other side is like, I'm going to be resourceful. I can't just looking up on my phone real quick. There's somebody standing up there right now. I'm going to figure this out. Like, we're going to do this thing. And I think that's where sometimes when we think about personal development, you got to develop yourself right now in order to prepare yourself for what comes in the future. And if you don't work on your mental game now, and you're the same person that you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, you're going to be the same person 2 years from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now.
Absolutely, man.
So that mental game that you had in that moment was something that you had to work on prior to that in order to set you up for success in that moment. And unfortunately, you were talking about that one guy was hyping your boy up, and then at the end things change. People all the time look at us and they're like, man, Brandon's just got it all made in the shade over here. He's coming in here and he's eating his little meals. That must be so easy for him. Somebody told me something one time like, Rob, I don't even know how you eat the same food all the time. It just must come easy to you. You just eat food for fuel. And I'm like, child, I'm like you. I'll tear up. I'm a fat boy in my mind. I will
go right now to Texas Roadhouse, and you bring me 5 baskets of rolls and that butter.
I would eat them all,
and then order a steak. But I was to speak with what you were talking about. When you have moments where you're a server and it's dead as a doornail, and a family shows up with a whole soccer team, you gotta learn. You have to, in that there is no, I don't know how to. No, there is no quit. There is, so moments like that, moments like, I'll be honest, like talking about growing up without a father. I had to teach myself how to shave and how to groom myself as a man and how to court a lady. Like, obviously trying to learn from my mom and like everything like that. But I would, I didn't have anybody like that to see is like, oh, that's what a provider looks like for a family. And like going through that right now, like we don't have any children. I would say my dog is like a child, but being in that type of role, like obviously I'm not the type that's like it's me or nothing, because again, I see her as she is a part of me and we got to do this together. We can't do it alone. I know we can't. And so there are strengths that I have, there's strengths that she have, and we got to put those together to make this thing work. But these are all things that I'm kind of having to learn on the fly, because I didn't see a model in my family in that sense where it stayed together. Like her family, her mom and dad are still together, so she was raised to see that and to know what it should look like in that sense of the picture perfect, American family. And for me, it's just been like constantly learning, like even to have somebody like finances and everything, like and that's why I'm thankful for people like Rob. I'm thankful for people the guys that I've come across in my life that have done things that I've never done, that I can ask questions about. They've been in positions I've never been in, and I think that's important that you have to do as well to develop. You have to not only be a sponge and be receptive to the information, but you sometimes got to seek it out and just ask. And again, that comes with the vulnerability, like you said. I don't think there's any weakness in that. Some people might see that like, I just got to do it myself. And if I mess up, like, oh well, but I'm gonna do it myself. Like, you might knock out a whole lot of time and pain if you ask a question.
For sure.
One question might get you over that hump easier. And that's another thing I think when you're trying to develop, be open to that. And do not take criticism as a bad thing. Now, sometimes I know people might say it in the tone, and I know we got it on our wall. 84%, I think it is, of all conversations about the tone in which you're saying things. Some people might not come off the right way and telling you how to improve. Mm-hmm. But I think it's up to us to decipher that, take what they're telling you, and understand that it's only going to make you better. And it can, they say the truth hurts sometimes. And I do think that there's a lot of not enough truth being told sometimes to get you to where you need to be. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm the picture perfect, because I've definitely been told things where I'm like, and I harbor on it. Like you said, the negative.
Yeah.
Well, why they don't see that I do this? Like, why is it all, oh, you didn't do this the right way. But what about all this other stuff I do right? But that's a part, I think, of growing up, and that's a part of being the next version of yourself. I feel like it's always a book, and these chapters are just going. And the one that you're currently in, you're in it now, but that page has got to flip at some point, and who you're going to be when that new chapter shows up is only going to be dictated, like you said, about the choices you choose to make or the choices you didn't, which is also a choice.
A choice, for sure.
Yeah, I think it is. I agree that from every conversation, I actually think this comes from Brene. I don't remember in what book, but she said sometimes even when she's getting hard feedback from somebody, if they're not delivering it the way that she would prefer to hear it or whatever, we can't control what the other person is doing or saying. But she even has almost like a mantra. And so when she's receiving tough feedback like that, she repeats to herself, I can take something away from this conversation. I can take something away from this conversation. She just keeps reminding herself, this may not be the way that I'm ready to receive this, but I'm going to be able to take something away from this conversation. And I do think that we can't always see when we look in the mirror all the things our blind spots. And so I think that's where we need to be open to what other people see that we may not be able to see about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Life is good. I love having good people around you that can give you that good feedback. And I know we're on the topic of development, and I had a couple things that I came across, and I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts on what things that you want to offer people listening of how can I navigate this path of development? How can I continue to grow and push myself? I know you've already talked about educating yourself, learning new things. Meredith, you were just saying hey, if you just go and learn something, you just learn that one little skill. You can level yourself up a little bit. I love the fact that you can read a book and learn from somebody's mistakes and then fix it. You're just I don't have to follow those mistakes. It's pretty amazing. But they're at our fingertips. They're there all the time. I sometimes feel like we live in a society where we have so much information that it's overwhelming and we do nothing with it. If you have a bunch of choices, a lot of times the choice that we make is indecision. It's just I
don't know what book to read. I don't want podcasts to listen to.
I'm not going to read. And it's it's an option, but it's not an option.
No.
So educating yourself is one. You were just saying about feedback, getting feedback from people. It's nice to hear the things that are good about what you did. That's the Skittles and M&Ms that help you continue to grow. But then having people that you can trust around you that can give you the hard feedback that you really need to hear, but maybe don't want to hear. Sometimes that's really tough. And you said it earlier, commit to one thing at a time. Just saying, I'm going to just do this one thing. And that leads me down the path. It's even if it's one step, that's the same thing in the chapter book. It's it's one page. It's only one little movement forward, but you still moved. You're still moving. It doesn't have to be extraordinary.
Yeah, I think that you might have alluded to this. One thing that I wrote down was to ask yourself, what can you do today that you couldn't do a year ago? And if the answer to that is nothing, then what does that say? If you look at yourself and you say, what can I do today that I could not do a year ago? And you can't think of one thing. And when I say what can you do, I don't mean I don't know, sewing.
I get what you mean. Yeah, like it's not like an actual hands-on
actual task.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be anything. What can I do today that I couldn't do a year ago? I can sit here and have a conversation with people on a podcast and put it out there for the whole world to listen to if they wanted to.
What can Brandon do that he couldn't do a year ago? Beat a CrossFit team at volleyball.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bring him back.
Man, they don't want to see me now. They do not want to see me now.
Brandon's big old biceps, he'll blow a hole in that ball and send it right through somebody's chest.
I mean, like to think about what you can do now, you can you can navigate situations where you didn't ever think you would be able to go so long without eating a certain food, or be able to go to Thanksgiving and say no thank you to the mac and cheese. I know I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that a year ago. I couldn't do that today. But like to think of those things, and to me those things are actually, I don't know, like more important, or they seem more important than actually like learning. Not to say that it's not good to learn new hobbies and skills and things like that, but to me, proving to yourself that you can do something, like proving to yourself that you could do that a year ago, like to me that's even more valuable than like learning how to crochet. Like, not that that's not a fun, not saying there's anything wrong with that, or learning a new hobby. Certainly it takes dedication to do that too. But if I look back a year ago, like what things have I chosen to develop in myself, and am I seeing the fruits of my labor there? I thought that was I think that's a tough question, and I think it's a question worth asking, because if you've not done anything in the past year to develop any part of yourself, even if it is to teach yourself how to crochet, then so be it. You've taught yourself a new skill and you've kind of navigated through that.
Right.
But even if it's just that you've worked on your confidence, that's one thing I'm working on, is my confidence. And so even if it's just putting yourself out there and working on it bit by bit, I can say that I've been working on that, and I can see the fruits of my labor, through something like the podcast. But I thought that was, when you look in the mirror, not only to look at yourself and
take pictures in the bathroom.
Yep, when you're taking pictures in the bathroom, ask yourself that question too, because I think that would say a lot about how you're focusing on your own development.
Yeah,
I would say, and I don't know if you were asking me for an answer.
Yeah, might as well.
But I would say in this past year, I can honestly say I'm proud of Brandon Belk. I can sit on that alone and say I'm proud of me. And I feel like it's taken a long time for that, because there have been things where, and I still talk about it now, like not like I'm older, but still not feeling like an adult, so to speak, or that I've come to realization. But through those journeys, man, through the things that I've been able to do, as far as growing here in that year's time, with my wife in this year's time, the family in this year's time, I was just things I've been able to do. I took my mother for the first time. She's never been to Vegas. She turned 70 years old last year, so we took her to Vegas for her birthday. And it was like being with a little kid, like walking around with her and all. And these are things that when I grew up with her, I always said I wanted to do those things. So when it came to, I was like, you're not paying for your plane ticket. You're not paying for the room. We got it. Like, and to do that, man, like, it just made me feel like I've come to the point now where I'm the guy who, because we were just talking earlier, I grew up idolizing Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme. Those are my original superheroes, because their movies, they were always in crazy shape. They always took on the bad guys. They never lost. And they just had that energy about them that people are like, if I need something, I'm going to find somebody like that. And that's kind of what had me drawing comic book characters and all that stuff as I grew up. And like always talked about wanting to look like that and to have that kind of like feeling of power within myself to be like I'm standing on these 2 feet and I'm standing in it like proudly. Mm-hmm. And over this past year, like I said, the discipline that because I don't think I've ever committed to something besides my wife in that sense where I'm like I'm not wavering on this. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, it just unlocked to me I can do anything. Like I really can't. Like if I seriously want to put my mind to it, and if I like it enough, there's nothing that's going to deter me from doing it. And so I just, again, I bring it back to saying I want people to have that kind of feeling, to have that type of growth. And no, it doesn't have to be that exponential. But like you said, you start somewhere. And if I can look back and say, a year ago, I could only do 2 minutes on the treadmill. And now this year, I'm doing 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. To somebody, that might not be a lot, but to you, look at that growth. Mm-hmm. Or I wasn't able to speak Spanish, and now I've done Rosetta Stone, and now I can have a conversation with people. That's probably one of the things I'd love to be able to do, because we do have Spanish-speaking customers, and I always feel dumb that I can't just go. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. Like I never like feeling those kind of moments, even when it's things like I don't know, because I know they call for questions that only a tech would know. And I'm like, I'll get you to the experts on that, but you can't learn it all at once, and I know that. So I think it's a combination of the persistence, but also the acknowledgement of where you are and where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Brandon, I appreciate your thoughts that you have on development and getting better, and all your examples that you gave today are, I know so many people can use that as inspiration for taking them in the future, because just the example of you making it 20 weeks, no sweets, pushing yourself, standing on stage, culminating, in a first place win, like that's huge. Yeah. That's inspiring. Yeah. And if, I know that it's no small feat, but for a lot of people out there, like, man, that's huge to be able to do. Even just the little bits of advice that you've given along the way, if anybody can just take one of those things and apply it, just like you were saying earlier, just do one tiny thing, like that's development. That's going to make you better. And in your example of you having all this life experience leading up to the point where you're standing on stage, it's like all those hard moments and development created that victory right there. And that's icing on the top of like, man, I can do anything. And so hopefully all of you listening today can take a little bit of that and add that to your life. If you could take a little chunk of Brandon along, hey, this is the message right here.
That's
right
love,
here.
Man.
Yeah,
that's love.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, we got a couple of questions for you. I know we've got our little Brene Brown credit moment. Yep. She likes to ask some questions at the end. I know you listen to the podcast, so you know what's coming. And then we got to this playlist.
Y'all not ready.
We're not.
Rob's
ready.
definitely not ready.
I know 2 of the songs. I didn't listen to the other 3.
So I just got what I'm gonna have to do is just once I start singing it, maybe or something like that, he's gonna pick it up. I know
probably would. So it sounds like we're gonna get a little singing, a little karaoke.
Now don't put me way up there. Now it ain't that good. It ain't that good.
Meredith, hit us with this question.
Okay, first rapid fire question. Fill in the blank. Morris-Jenkins is
family. I will say, like I said, man, I feel like one of my homegirls, Alyssa, that's in E-Support, when she walks in, I'm always like, hey, cousin, because we've gone through so much. That training course was 6 weeks, so we had to find people to bounce ideas off of. We had to trust in the training team that they were going to get us right. I know they were hoping the same thing, I'm sure, but like I said, man, the information I've been able to get from people here, it's things that I need. When I need a hug, I can go to Crystal Denny. She know that. Mm-hmm. That's my person to get that, and sometimes I need that more than she knows. She might not even know that, but it's just another energy boost for me. Mm-hmm. Rochelle sits right behind me. E-Support. If it's anytime I'm doing my hybrid, I can turn right around, ask her a question, boom, she got me. Mm-hmm. The same with my teammates all around. Yolanda, Bastion, Chastity, Phillip, Sebastian himself, like these are all people who are not harbingers of energy. They're going to give you what you need. They'll give you the information that you need. So like I said, I just feel like I come in here and it is some extended family in here for me.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
I've heard, I've seen, this is an aside, and rapid fire is never rapid, BT dubs. But I have seen that people say that you shouldn't call people at work your family.
What? Why?
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I mean, I obviously recognize we're talking about a different type of relationship.
Correct.
But, I mean, I spend more time in here with y'all than I do why wouldn't I want to develop the relationships here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I would say, I mean, the conversations I've had outside of the ones that I have with my wife, some of the deepest ones I've had have been in this building. Whenever me and Jess have talks, our one-on-ones are like this. When I talk to Rob, it's the same thing. So any intimate time that I've had with somebody, it gets deep because I feel like I get deep quickly, and so it's not like a surface level conversation, and I'm taking something from it because I'm not bringing it to you without wanting to get an answer or to get some type of realization in the situation.
Well, to get, you got to give, right? And
That's
so
it.
when you're giving, you're going to get more from the person that's sitting across from you.
Absolutely.
For sure. I like that one. All right, next question. What is something that people often get wrong about you?
So I will say there was a time where even my wife said that I could seem to be intimidating. I have no idea. I'm like 5'5", so I don't know how I'm striking fear in anybody.
He's 5'5". He's not telling you he's 270.
Stop, dude. Now, I'll be honest. I probably do seem intimidating in the gym because I'm not talking to anybody. Like, I got my headphones on. I'm in there for work.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
So that walking around in there, it might seem that way. But like I told you, once I start going, I'm going. And it's like, if you there was a girl, I will even say this, while I was in college, that told me that she had some attraction to me but didn't want to speak because she was like, you just seemed like you were kind of cold or whatever. And I'm like, me? Like, but I don't know. That's probably the only thing I've ever heard is somebody saying something like that. Like, I might, and I don't know if it's, but I 9 times out of 10 feel like I got a smile on my face when you see me, so I'm hoping that that's more welcoming than a cold face, but that might be it.
My wife tells me I have RBF.
I've heard people say that you come across as intimidating.
First time I met you, absolutely, bro.
I try to
like when you came into that meeting,
my face.
You came into the meeting, and I'm like, this dude's straight. See, there's a Terminator skeleton.
Ho. What you were about to say? What?
Huh?
You said serial killer? Was that what you were about to say?
No, serious.
Oh,
I was like, this dude is very
serial killer.
No, nothing like that. No, you ain't going that far.
I know.
But I'm like, this dude seems like he got it all together. Like he's well put together, got the nice shirt on and the slacks, and he clean cut everything. I'm like, this dude got it. Like he got it. But
says Chauncey.
He ain't playing.
But I had to bring it out. Like, that's my thing. Is like, I gotta see if there's some joy in there.
If he has a soul in there.
There's a soul.
It's so funny because it's like I get because of how I know you now. I don't. Same thing for you. I don't.
I never got. Yeah, I don't.
Intimidating,
dude.
I mean, from moment. I mean, that was my first interaction. Was in that meeting. I'm like, I like this guy. But I get that. If you see somebody and you don't have contact with them, you haven't talked to them really, all you're doing is just looking to see how they're reacting. And if there's no interaction, you're at the gym, it's like, there ain't nobody to talk to. I'm just over here working out. You always look mad in the gym.
I think it's funny that that's how our brains work,
Yeah.
that we're so quickly how we're assessing people that way. Okay, next question. What's the last show you binge watched and loved?
Oh, man. Like I told him, only reason I was not able to binge it is because it still came out weekly. But this new X-Men 97 series that just came out on Disney Plus, I was telling Rob, I never watched the series. When I grew up, it was all, my Saturdays was all Power Rangers. I loved the Amazing Spider-Man TV show at that point in time. That was my thing, yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And X-Men would come on, and I liked the characters and stuff, but I never was into it like that. So, Marvel just released the new updated form of it for people who might have watched it then, but more adult audience. Insanely good writing. The cameos, that's what's gonna kill you. Like the people that you see showing up in this. And I like this morning, I was brushing my teeth. The finale came out this morning. So I'm like brushing my teeth and my wife was talking and I feel bad because she was asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, you ain't listening to me at all. And I'm like, Magneto. Like. But yeah, it would have to be the new X-Men show. If you have not seen it, I promise you're going to get something good out of it.
I'll have to tell Michael.
I think I've only watched half of the first. Michael likes that too?
Yeah.
X-Men?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy good. It is crazy good. And like it touches on a lot of things that we deal with in today's world, and just like, yeah, you just gotta watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I go or you go?
Dang. Me. No? Just go.
Okay. Give us a concert you'll never forget.
This goes into one of my songs.
Who was it?
It was the John Mayer.
Oh.
That's why I put so the first music festival I ever went to was with my wife. We were dating at the time. It was in Atlanta, Midtown Music Festival. Run DMC was there, Eminem was there, a lot of whole different types of artists, but I had heard that song before, and when he did it there, it was honestly, this was one of those times, and I'm gonna get in my romantic bag right now. It was a million people out there in that field, but I swear it was just me and her. Like, it's such a deep song if you really think about what he's talking about. And like I told you, with me being the lightest heart that you'll probably meet, I'm always up in the clouds, and I never want to come down. Because I enjoy that fleeting feeling of just everything's all good, man. Like the realities that we have to face sometimes when the bills got to get paid and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to think about that. I just want to think about the times I get to have, like my mom in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I'm very big on like reliving moments. Like, that's one thing with my wife. I'm always like, you remember when we did this? And she's like, you always talking about it. I'm like, because it's just I love the memories that I'm able to make. Nostalgia. Because they mean so much to me, man. And the times. So it was at that festival, and John Mayer was doing Gravity. And in that moment, it was just me and her in a sea of a million people, but all I saw was her, and she had only seen me.
We'll bring her on. She'll be our next interview.
Follow up.
For sure.
Sorry. So you might have already answered this. What's your favorite meal? My
favorite meal? Absolutely sushi.
Sushi. Over the mac and cheese?
So mac and cheese is like, because you can't have a whole meal.
Yes, you can.
Actually, you actually might be right, Rob. You probably could.
Item.
I'll eat only mac and cheese
only mac and
at
cheese?
Thanksgiving.
If it's that good, I mean, but for me, and any place where it's like all you can eat sushi, because that's when you get to bang for your buck. So, and my favorite is salmon nigiri. I will eat that until I pass out.
As soon as he got that, what was it, CBCB burger, and then he turned around and he said, that was so right, good. Sushi's next.
And listen, I did so much damage, because right after that we went to Cabo for our anniversary trip, which again I had to postpone that. We got married in October. The show wasn't until December, so we couldn't go anywhere until then. So she was upset about that too. But man, we got down there, and you go to an all-inclusive. Man, I can't tell you how many pastries, how many, like, they come around, sir, you need anything? I need 2 orders of nachos. Extra cheese. I woke up one night, man, and we getting absolutely real right now. I should have just put a pillow and a blanket on the toilet. Bro, I was in there hurting, but I'm like, it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
20 weeks.
20 weeks. But yeah, man, it was great.
Your body was like, 20 weeks of good, healthy food. What are you doing?
What is this junk? But I had to do it, man.
Yes.
I had to.
I don't blame you one bit.
Well.
Okay, give us a snapshot of an ordinary moment in your life that brought you great joy. My
wedding day. So we got married we had ventured to Denver, Colorado, as a birthday trip, I think, for her one year, and fell in love with it because it was so close to the mountains. The city's right there, and you can see everything like from the city, just beautiful. We took a drive one day because we just wanted to go like to take a little hike or whatever, and found this little pull off that had like this flat ground right off the side of a mountain. And I was like, what if we got married here? And she was like, I mean, okay. And so we kind of debated it. We went back a couple of times, and one trip that we went, it was purely for reconnaissance. We went to 3 different locations and was like, okay, let's see if ours is going, if anything will deter us from that. Nothing changed. I had my mother, my aunt, my other aunt, and her husband. She had her mom, dad, both her brothers, and her brother's wife. And we all went there. We stood on that side of the mountain, and I curated the wedding pretty much. I told her I wanted her dad to say a prayer to get it started. And then I wanted both of our moms to have anything they wanted to tell us about love and the importance of it. So they both had their little papers and they read their things, and then we read our vows and did the kiss. And we went to her parents' Airbnb and had breakfast. Grits, eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, and biscuits. And the thing about that is I remember every single thing that we did. I know some people, they have a wedding and it's crazy big and you might not even get to eat your food because people are talking and they want pictures and all this. It was the most intimate thing. I was able to bring my family who had never been there. Her family had never been either. And I have a picture. I just posted it for Mother's Day. And I was like, these are literally the 3 best women I've ever known. Because in the picture is me and her standing, and then both of our moms are there. And I'm like, the first one taught me everything from God to Rocky Balboa. The second one came whenever I started dating her daughter, and I saw how generous she was and kind, and I see why my wife is that way. And then I was like, the third is my wife, who is the mother of our dog, Raja. And she is everything I needed. So that one picture, I hope that when my time is closing, I saw something yesterday that said whenever you pass away, like your brain's alive for 7 minutes and it's replaying the memories that you have or something like that. And I'm like, I hope those are in there. Yeah. I hope, because that was it's just another day with no stress. And I want to be up there with that.
Yep. I'm sure those memories will come.
Yep.
For sure.
Joy. I think it's really, when we think about that word joy, you know, it's different from happy.
It is. It's just in you. It ain't nothing that's causing it.
Yeah.
You just are.
It's just
you're
joy.
just good.
That's such a sweet moment.
It
I like
was.
that one. I like it. All right, last question, then we'll wrap the 5 questions or 5 songs. What is the one thing you are deeply grateful for right now?
My resilience. Because again, I think coming from where I did, growing up how I did, there are a lot of things that I could have, like you were saying, you get these directions you can go. I think there's a lot of ways I could have gone. And I'll be honest, like I think just recently I came to terms to forgive my father for everything that transpired. And this is me talking as a 36-year-old man, and it took me until now to say we're not all perfect, and I'm not going to hold any, because it's not doing me any good to have this negative anger in me about what could have been, what may not. And that's my thing, is like, I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I would have had to know that you got to do that with your dad, or you got to do that with I don't even know what those things could have been. And to get to a point where I'm like, I got to look around me and the successes that I have. And I have a wife that I dreamed of pretty much. She's exactly what I would have wanted. I have a job now that is consistent, that allows me to grow. It allows me to have my expenses paid. It allows me to have time off to refresh and reset how I need to. It allows me to do things like this. That's one thing. I've been able to do so much more here. And people want to put you in positions to highlight what you may be good at or whatever. Like, I asked them about the Truck 17 ride because I'm like, this lady, something about her, it just gravitates me. Her energy, I feel like we might have some lineage down the road where we might just have some family together. And things like that, man, because I think it's important to just, you might need to dip your foot in different waters to see what's actually going to stick. And so I think I absolutely could have given up from time to time, even talking about the bodybuilding show. Like, but it was just like, you don't come from people who give up. My mom raised all three of us on a teacher's salary, and I never went hungry. I had all my equipment for the Little League football team. I had all my, I had all my pencils and everything in college. I had everything I needed. And because of that, I couldn't stop. And I can't stop because I know somebody at home in Lancaster County is praying for me. And I know that my wife is doing the same. And I'm not letting nobody down. I'm not letting nobody down.
Brandon, through this whole thing we call life, you've learned everything that you need that's carried you to this point. And your mom, I mean, shout out to all the moms out there.
For sure.
I mean, I know Mother's Day just happened and all the things, but man, the people that have our backs like our moms do, you can't ask for anything more. And I know absolutely your mom is more than proud of you. And I know that at every moment, your interactions with people, your mom's there. She is. At the hard moments you've had in your life, your mom's there. Always. And I know your mom's proud of you, man.
I hope she is, man.
Because you know if she's not,
absolutely,
she's gonna write you a slip to go home to give you.
She is 4'11" of raw intensity.
I see it.
Mm-hmm. But she is she, like I said, man, I couldn't have asked for better. For what I know she had to go through to get to where she is, and she's the youngest of 10, but all of her older siblings always look to her for inspiration, for comfort, for whatever. And even now, she's the only one out of, so there's only 4 of them left. But she still takes them to doctor's appointments. She is the one who is out and about all the time, just popping up on them to just check and see if they okay. Yeah. That's just who she is. And I always said, I just want to have that same kind of go about myself. Wherever I'm at, I want to bring that kind of energy. And like I said, is making her proud wherever she is and knowing that she did a good job, because I know it wasn't easy. Yeah, we were some hard-headed boys, but she got us where we needed to be.
You're doing it, Brandon. You're doing it.
Yeah, we're getting there, man.
Heck yeah.
Yes,
listen, Brandon, you don't know this about me, but I thought I would be the first person to get emotional on the podcast. Yeah. So now you have opened up the floodgates.
We're good.
You have opened up the floodgates for me.
There's a first for everything.
That is right. Because I think that I really appreciate you sharing that. I think that is important for people to understand, that it's okay to acknowledge all those things.
Yeah. You got to. I mean, that's the mirror.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at. Is like it's all the good and the bad, man. But like I told you, we focus on that good fruit. We trying to get that good fruit, and the longer you can stay in that zone, stand on it. Just when those good times are happening, like stay in that, understand those feelings, and know that it's not always gonna be that way, but please enjoy it when they do come, because they might be fleeting and far in between. Because we know how weather is. When the weather's hot, them calls is coming in. When it's rainy, they not doing nothing. So.
The weather be weathering.
The weather be
Yes,
weather.
right.
Yes, it do. Weather.
The weather. Hey, speaking of music, let's talk about these
I know.
top
The
5.
only thing that could probably bring me out of an emotional state
Yes.
is
Some good music.
Dr. Dre.
I love it.
Dr.
Absolutely.
Dre. This first song, you got to sing it. California Love, Dr. Dre.
Y'all
Tupac.
know it.
I think
California love.
Yes.
You know it. So all of these songs, I was thinking like, do I want to do like what I listen to in the gym? I'm like, no. I want to do songs that have, like I said, I'm always reminiscing. So songs historically that spoke to me, and just the vibes of them that I think are just good feelings. So first song. My middle brother was a huge Tupac fan. So when I hear that song, it brings me back to all of us at home, Sega Genesis, the boom boxes that actually, people walked around with and stuff. My brother still had those. And just those times as a kid to where nothing about life mattered but just enjoying your friends, the birthday parties at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just those times. So that was number one. And again, the vibe. And I will also say, the first time I was actually able to go to California, it was making things real to me. Because before, it's like you hear these things and you see these things, and it's like it's a dream world. The first time I actually stood on that road and saw that Hollywood sign in that hill, I was like, it's real out here. Like, you can go see these things. And that's why, like you said, with the traveling, that's why we love to do it, because I want to touch these things now. And you can. Mm-hmm. You can.
I think they'll pop you if you try to touch that sign.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Get back.
Next song. Did I just do that first one?
You did.
Hey, go ahead and hit
Listen, I'm not going to mess up any.
I done lost it all.
I'm not messing up any names. I don't know if I screw up the names on the songs. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's no group on here
you
that I don't know.
You can't mess this one up. Let's go.
No. The next one is Big Timers, Still Fly.
Man.
For those of you that do not know, Gator boots.
With the pimped out Gucci suits.
Yes.
Ain't got no job, but I stay sharp. Listen, this song brings me back to high school. I had a friend, Jonathan Beckham, who had some speakers in the back of his Jeep Cherokee. He blew the speakers 3 times to this song. Had to get new speakers. We'll never forget, because it came out, I think it was our senior year. But man, the Big Timers, Manny Fresh, and Birdman, just, oh man, number one stunner.
Yes.
That was the day.
Yes.
I do know that song.
Yeah. So, but that song, it was just, I think it was the mantra of our whole summer that year. Mm-hmm. Can't pay my rent because all my money spent.
Ain't got no job.
Brandon was like, "This is my song. I can pay my bills.
That's it.
But
Yeah,
this is my song.
That's it now. Yeah, I'm completely different now. But yeah, it's forever, man. It's forever.
We have to listen to that because I'm positive we'll listen to it when we get done. I'm pretty sure you've heard Gator Boots.
No, I do know that song.
Once
When
he
y'all started singing,
hits,
I was like, all right, I got
once
it.
it hits, he'll know.
Yep. Okay. Oh no, I just did that one. We already we talked about the next one.
John Mayer, Gravity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The live version.
Absolutely.
So we got that. Next is Ice Cube. It was a good day.
You know that. Any day you get to wake up and you ain't got to use your AK, it's got to be a good day. This is for the days of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Because my boys and us, man, and again, this is why I'm saying it was the times that I had with the people that helped me get through times. Because my brothers were older, so when they left, it was just me and my mom. So I didn't have that camaraderie of brothers at the house. So I met them at school. My boy Jeremy Baker, Drew Clancy, Kevin Mood, Julian Quay, Brandon Jason, my boys still. But that was one of the songs that was on the I can't remember the radio station, Radio Los Santos, on the game. And anytime it came on, it was just a reminder, again, of a good time for me. And, just waking up in the morning, got to thank God. First thing he say, That's it, man. You gotta live it.
Brandon
You gotta live
smiling ear to ear right now.
Yes, it's good times.
I
It's
love
good
how
times.
music takes us to that
Oh,
place.
it
does. It does.
And the last one, Will Smith, "Summertime."
I do know this
Not
one.
this one.
You better been back in that Jeep with the top down.
Man,
for
this
one.
is-
Summertime.
That song, I think, it just embodies the best feelings. Now, I was way younger when he did drop this, and I remember my brothers listening to it, but there was no cookout you went to. There was no family reunion you went to. There was no car wash you went to where you didn't hear people playing that song. And it was just, I think in our training class, they did an exercise where they were like, we're going to pick songs and see who said it. And I put that song on there, and there was absolutely, as soon as it came on, they was like, Brandon. And I'm like, I like that, because that's the kind of vibe. If I could culminate who Brandon is Will Smith "Summertime." That would be it. That's the feeling I hope to bring. We chilling, we enjoying it. The sun's out. I might have a coconut drink.
I might be in Antarctica.
I might be in Antarctica, but we're still summertime. It's still summertime.
It might still be summertime in
That's
Antarctica.
life. That's life.
This is a good playlist.
It is.
You know, from some of these other ones, I always have to go and listen to the songs, and I didn't listen to these, and I'm terrible with remembering the name. As
Yeah.
soon as I hear the song, I'm like,
That's
boom, I
it.
know it. But quite a few of these I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just had to hear somebody else
Just
sing
hear it again.
Yep.
Hear it again.
That's it, man.
Yeah, right in my wheelhouse.
That's it.
So our
Yeah.
question for you is, what does this playlist say about Brandon Belk?
It says that you are not going to have a bad time when you're around me. And I hope, and I think I told you this in the beginning, Rob, on one of our conversations, is that any interaction I have with somebody, I hope they're leaving me in a better spot than they found me in. Whether that's they learned something, their mood is just different a little bit, or they just wanted to get away from me. But whatever it is, I hope that there's a good vibe. Like I said, it's all about harmony for me. So when I'm working with people, at home with my wife, friends and everything, I'm the easiest going because I can adapt. So if we've got a plan set in stone and we got, like right now, we're going to Disney with her family in June. The plan has changed 30 times. But I'm still like, we there.
Location? Or-
Like, well, how we're gonna go for 4 days, or we're gonna do one day at Universal and do 3, or we're gonna do 2 and 2, and well, now we're just gonna do Universal all together.
This
well,
is
no,
your
now we're
person
gonna go
right
back and
here.
forth.
This is your person
and I'm just
right
like, if y'all don't make a decision, because for me, I just want to get down there, and number one, I've never been, so the Tower of Terror I've always heard about. The new Avatar ride I heard is insane. The Guardians of the Galaxy ride that they opened in Epcot apparently is insane.
The Star Wars.
The whole Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, the whole. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. That's my jam. Is it Rise of the Empire?
Rise of the Resistance.
That
Yes,
ride.
he said it's insane.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
My wife does not like Star Wars. My kids do everything. They worship my wife.
Yeah.
I always say
Understood.
worship, because there's not a single thing that she does. It's like, yeah, Dad, that's what it. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
That ride, my wife got off. That was like, that was good.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, see,
That's
see what I'm talking about. She goes, I still don't like Star Wars, but that ride was
But
good.
it
I'm like,
rocks.
fine,
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
today,
y'all, man. This has been, I enjoy my days here, but this is absolutely top 3.
Aw.
Truck 17 was up there. This is absolutely up there. I don't know what my third would be yet, but this is probably top 2.
Heck yeah,
Absolutely.
Aw,
Dude, appreciate
we
you, man.
it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm just thrilled that other people have now been able to be exposed to Brandon Belk, because like I said, I had Brandon in class for 1 day.
Yeah.
And you left an impression on me. So I think that we need some more Brandon Belk energy out there amongst the folks. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us
I
today.
appreciate y'all more than y'all know, man. More than y'all know.
Heck yeah.
Aw.
You guys want some Brandon Belk energy, just come on upstairs.
That's right.
He's right down the hall.
You already know.
Dude, appreciate you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the wisdom you dropped on us. Guys, if y'all want to hear more interviews like this, you want to get more of our podcast, you can subscribe, go on Apple Podcasts, you can go on Spotify. We're there. We got you. Leave us some comments. Man, this was a good one. Appreciate y'all. Hey, Meredith, what do you want to tell us?
I want to say thank you for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace, love, and easy does it.
I appreciate y'all.